guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you guys are new here for the first time, then hello, welcome. In today's video, I am doing the long-awaited DIY dresser makeover. This is my first time ever revamping or refinishing any type of furniture, so please be easy on me. I don't know if I did everything correctly, but I really love the way that it turned out. I tried to ask a couple of my friends that I follow on Instagram. I watched so many YouTube videos to try and see what the best way to approach it was. So I did purchase this dresser off of Facebook Marketplace for $40. It was a laminate surface, so I knew that I was going to have to sand it down or put a primer on it before I started. So I did go ahead and sand down before I started the piece, which you guys will see the whole process once we get into the actual video. I will be sharing with you everything that I did step by step, and I will also be linking the products that I used in the description box down below if you guys are interested. I wanted to keep my DIY room makeover very affordable and on a budget. I have talked a lot about this in a lot of my previous videos, but I will be doing a full room makeover here on my channel within the next few weeks, and the dresser is one of the focal points of my room. I really love the way that it turned out, like I said, and I'm excited for you guys to see it. This did take me a decent amount of time. I would say in total it took me about a day and a half, just because you do have to wait in between coats. I will share with you exactly how many coats I did and all of that good stuff. I'm excited because, like I said, this is my first time ever refinishing a furniture piece, and I am really happy with the way that it turned out. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. If you do have any tips or tricks of things that I didn't do in this video, let me know in the comments down below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get on to this DIY furniture revamp. So getting right on to this amazing dresser transformation, this is what we are starting with. So I picked this dresser up from Marketplace for $40. It was a laminate surface, so we are going to start by sanding down everything. So before we get on to sanding, I'm going to take all the drawers out just because this is going to make our lives much easier instead of trying to do everything with the drawers in, especially when painting. This is going to make it a lot easier as well. Now for sanding, I am using an electric sander, which will make your life so much easier. These are pretty affordable, so if you go to your local hardware store, Lowe's or Home Depot, something like that, you'll be able to find one there. I will also link some in the description box down below for you guys if you do want to buy something off of Amazon or just something online in general. Now we are going to sand this down because we want to roughen up the surface and take off that shiny laminate finish that this dresser had on it. Now, if you were doing a fully wood surface, you could skip this step, especially if you are going in with a chalk paint like I am. For the chalk paint, I am using the Rust-Oleum chalked in the color Linen White. I will have it linked down below for you guys if you are interested in using the exact color that I used. Now when doing this, you guys are going to see that I unfortunately shattered my light right about here. So this was kind of a fail in the beginning process of doing the dresser, but we went ahead and moved on. I thankfully had another light available and I just ordered a new one, but that was kind of an unfortunate event. So after we have averted from the craziness that just happened and got a new light, we are now going to move on to the drawers. I'm going to take off all of the hardware, and I actually originally wanted to get new hardware, but I ended up just spray painting them, which you guys will see later in the video, and it came out really well. I am putting the drawers back into the dresser because I am going to continue this another day, which you guys will see in just a second. My clothing will change. I apologize for my outfit coming now. I had just woken up and I did not want to change out of my pajamas because it was so hot in my garage and there was just no point. So after we've got everything sanded down, I'm taking a damp washcloth and I'm going to go over everything to get all of the dust off. You want to make sure to do this so that when you put down the first layer of paint, there's not going to be anything underneath the paint that makes it a weird texture or anything. Once we have the whole entire dresser completely wiped down, we are going to start painting. Now you want to make sure to obviously stir your paint really well before you do get started. Another tip is to invest in a good paintbrush. A lot of my friends that I talked to before I started this recommended to just invest in a good paintbrush because that will save you a lot of time. I did use a different littler paintbrush that you can see sitting on top of the dresser, and that was such a pain in the butt. It was a cheaper paintbrush and it shed so much, so it cost me a lot of time trying to pick hair off of the surface. So I would 100% recommend just getting a good paintbrush before you do any type of refinishing of any furniture. I will leave a few linked down below if you guys are interested, but pretty much just going to Lowe's or Home Depot and not buying the cheapest one. You guys should be good. Now I know a lot of this is self-explanatory, but I did want to give you guys another tip. When you are painting the first coat on, don't be too heavy with it. Make sure to keep a light first coat. There's obviously going to be imperfections and streaks and all of that stuff, but you want to make sure to do a thin coat first so that you don't have any weird bubbling or anything like that with too thick of coats. I did learn a lot from my friends on YouTube and Instagram. I was messaging with a lot of them, so if you are one of them, thank you so much for all of the advice. I would love for you guys to chat with me down in the comments and let me know if you guys have refinished any type of furniture before. It was definitely a lot of work to do this, but it totally paid off because I loved the way that it came out. I did also want to mention that when I did sand down the top of this dresser, there was a few spots that came up. It looked like almost a water damage from the previous owner, but thankfully when I got it painted and everything, you can't really see those spots, which I was super thankful for. But I definitely was a little bit worried because they were a little bit raised. So if you do see that, just make sure to try to sand it down as much as you can. And then once you paint over it, you shouldn't be able to see it too much. Especially with the white color, it did really well. So once we have everything painted and everything is fully dried, I'm going to take my electric sander and just lightly sand down the first coat of paint. This is going to get rid of any weird texture again on the surface, so when we go to apply coat 2, we won't have any imperfections. As I started to paint coat 2, I really noticed, wow, this is looking really nice. I will show you guys here what it looks like compared to the first coat. So that is the second coat compared on the right to the first coat. So you can see how big of a difference it made. So now I'm just going to be dusting off the rest of the dresser with that damp washcloth so we can go on with the second coat on the top. Now that we are waiting for the rest of the dresser to dry, we are going to move on to spray painting the hardware. I just went ahead and took a flat black spray paint, which I will link down below for you guys as well. I wanted to go ahead and try this first before I spent the money on buying new hardware, and I actually really like the way that it turned out. Next, we are going to start the top coat on all of the drawers and dresser. So this is by Rust-Oleum as well. This is their matte clear protective top coat. I really like the way that this feels. I feel like it definitely adds a nice protection. You can also do wax if you want to do that. I have never personally worked with wax before, and it just seems like a little bit more work. So I just went ahead and picked up this top coat because it did go with the chalk paint that I used. Again, I will leave these products linked down below for you guys. They are pretty affordable. They were $19 a piece, I believe, and I'm going to get a ton of use out of this. I can use chalk paint for pretty much anything, any kind of DIY, so it's definitely very versatile to have with you at your house. Now it is time to start putting the drawers back in and putting the hardware on. This is like one of my favorite parts because it's finally all coming together. I really love the way that my first piece turned out. Now it's not perfect, of course, but when you use chalk paint, it's never going to be perfect. So that is what I like about it. I really love the way that it looks in my room as well. So here is the final reveal of what it looks like in my room, all decorated. I am absolutely in love with the way that it came out. I could not be happier with the first piece that I have ever refinished. I would love to hear your guys' opinions in the comments down below of how you think it turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. If you do not follow me on Instagram, please do so. It's just at MollieNicoleXO. Always linked down below in the description box, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, stay marvelous.